If you have ever felt like fear was holding you back, or you wondered if you could ever achieve that big dream, please stick around. We're going to talk about how you can overcome that fear that has kept you bound for so long. So 2 years ago, I became an author. I did not set out to become an author because I had always loved to write. So I didn't see any big deal in having to publish a book. But something pivotal happened, something that changed my life for good. At that point, it did not look like something that was good. I had a major road accident that was very traumatic. And it left me with this fear that held me back. I did not want to enter into any car to drive. Even when I was being driven, I would remember what had happened. So I didn't want to continue the driving lessons that I started before the accident happened. And I kept on saying things like, I'll do it when I'm ready, when I feel stronger. All these were just excuses. So are you in this place where you're giving excuses, but there is an underlying issue that we can call fear? This video is for you. 2 years after that incident, my husband, who had been encouraging me to go learn how to drive again, said to act despite the fear that I was feeling. So we went to the driving school, saw the instructor. I enrolled for 4 weeks because I was like, 1 week cannot be enough. This fear has to be dealt with, right? So as I moved closer to the car, I saw that it was an old manual car. I couldn't fathom it. I was like, this is someone that is afraid. I do not want to use a manual car to learn. You understand all the gear system and the clutch and all of that. So I didn't want that. But I was there already. I could not turn back. As I moved closer to the car and about to get in, I heard a voice that resounded so loudly in my heart. Journal this experience. And I knew it was God. I knew it, because how else would you explain having to journal an experience that you are not confident about? In fact, it was not an experience that I thought I would be able to share with others. I knew God wanted me to write out my daily experience. So I started that day after my classes, what I faced when I came to enroll, and how it was during the lesson, and how I felt. And I was able to glean out principles from that day's lesson and ask questions in the form of a worksheet for anyone that would be reading that journal. I did not know this journal was going to be my very first book. This is the book, Crush That Fear. You can see me behind the steering wheel. I was really afraid. I was really afraid when I began to journal this experience. Having published this book, I realized that it's not about my driving lesson, but it's about overcoming fear, trusting God, and stepping into a new territory, a territory that you never believed you could get into. This book became a beacon of hope, not just for others, but for myself. It reminded me that I can do hard things and allow God help me through it. Fast forward to today, I've written 3 other books. I'm amazed. I didn't have to struggle to write the books. The first one is about how to win your baby or your toddler without stress. The second one is healthcare HR strategy. As an HR professional in healthcare, how do you want to plan your 2025 HR activities to align your organizational goals with the best HR practices? The third one is how to build a healthcare HR department from scratch, because where I currently work, I started that HR department from scratch. So you see how one experience has translated into impact, one singular experience. And because I yielded to the voice of God that very day, I've been able to also discover myself and own the skills, the talents that God has placed inside of me. So what is that talent that you have? You've just commonized it, you've been so familiar with it, or you're afraid and you just feel like it's normal. God wants you to use it for impact, to change a life. Fear will come. It's usually part of the process, but it does not have to paralyze you. Instead, let it push you toward growth. You don't have to have everything figured out before you step out. Start from where you are. Start with the fear. Because when I started journaling my driving lesson experience, I did not know that it was going to be a book. The first week, the second week, it was the third week that I knew that it was going to be a book. Imagine if I had not even journaled my experience. This is authentic storytelling. There was no way I could have been able to help others see what I went through, the emotions I felt. I just took the first step, took my phone and typed. What is that thing that you have been putting off because of fear? Please revisit it. God empowers you as you obey. Yes, you may look at yourself that you do not have what it takes, but if God has sent you, if God has asked you to do something, He will give you the required empowerment to make that vision a reality. So just trust Him, obey Him, step out. So looking back, I just realized that writing my first book is not about being an author in that sense. It was about stepping into the roles that God has called me into as a woman, as a wife, as a mom, as an HR professional, as a pastor, as a life coach. God wanted me to come into a place where I would be able to solely trust Him and step out to do that which He has called me to do. Does it resonate? One of my very key lessons is that you are capable of more than you think. I tell you, fear will try to convince you that you cannot. But hear me, use fear as that stepping stone that you need to move to your next level. It will not just disappear, but as you step out, fear takes a step back. You don't have to be fearless to step out. So I would ask you this question: what is that dream, that vision, that idea that you have received and you know that this is something God wants you to do, but you've been avoiding it? This video is the cue to say, I am stepping out. Is it you writing a book, starting a business, learning a skill or a trade, enrolling for a certification? Whatever it is, you will have to take the first step. Start small and remember that you are not alone. Oh, I'm so grateful for this journey, and I want you to know that just as God has been walking with me, He is also walking with you. So trust Him. 2025 is almost here. You cannot get into the new year with this fear. Let it go. If you would like to check out any of the books, please check the description for the links to the books. And I would love to hear from you. Has this video helped you in any way? What is one step that you can take today that would move you forward towards that goal, that idea, that vision? I'm rooting for you. Before you go, please, I want you to like this video, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family. There's a woman who needs this. There is a friend who needs this, and will be grateful that you shared with them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to see you in my next. Bye.